Hello, if you're a follower of mine, you'll know that I've been running a small-scale trial this year. I grow a lot of vegetables in buckets, but I purchased some fabric bags and I wanted to try out the fabric bags against the buckets. Which was best? Grow vegetables in bags, grow vegetables in buckets. So whatever vegetable I planted in the bucket, I planted the same vegetables in the bag. And the idea would be, at the end of the growing cycle, we'd harvest the bucket and we'd harvest the bag and we'd make a comparison and see if one was better than the other. I'm going to cut you back to some video now that I shot earlier in the year, where I had garlic growing in a bucket and garlic growing in a bag, and I harvested them together and we made that comparison. This is the garlic, incidentally, that came out of that bucket and bag, and this garlic is now going to go full circle, because when you come back to me, we're going to open these garlic bulbs up, we're going to expose the cloves, we're going to choose some, then we're going outdoors to plant some. So the garlic will have gone full circle. Enjoy the video, then come back to me. There's the root ball. It's produced by 4 garlic. Okay, so we've got roots from about there to there. It's shot through with roots, most of them at the bottom of this ball. Right, let's break it open and say, oh, there was one other thing I meant to mention. These garlic cloves were planted at a depth of 4 inches. I'd done that because I'd asked on a number of occasions for people who had grown garlic successfully to tell me what the planting depth was, and the number said about 4 inches, so these cloves are in about 4 inches, should be about there. This might be easier said than done. Oh no, we're breaking open now. Oh, smell that garlic, blimey. Here they come, here they come. Yeah, here they come. Well, these look a decent garlic, to be honest. They look as good as anything I've produced. How's that looking? 4 heads of garlic from a 10-inch water bucket. Right, let's put these to one side and let's get the bag into the barrow. Okay, this is the bag. There we go. Let me put that bag to one side. Hey, these look good garlic. Let me just take the soil off. Hey, 4 garlic grown in a small fibre bag. I think we're happy with those as well, and there is definitely cloves being produced in this garlic. I can see the lumps and the bumps. So that's how we got to where we are today. This is the garlic. It's dried off nicely now. We're going to open these garlic bulbs up. We're going to select some cloves that we're going to grow on this year. So this is autumn planted garlic. So this will be planted now at the beginning of autumn. It will go through autumn, through winter, through spring, into summer, and fingers crossed we'll harvest it again early summer of next year. Okay, I'll best just put that stuff up there, otherwise you won't actually see what's going on here. And this incidentally is a hard neck garlic. The soft neck garlic, I've never grown it, and if I can get these skins off here and show you this is the way you would recognise hard neck garlic if you hadn't seen it before. Okay, so these garlic cloves are actually sitting on a pedestal. That's the hard neck coming right up off the pedestal, and these garlic cloves are sitting on that pedestal, so when we break them off you would see that pedestal and this hard neck remains. On soft neck garlic you don't just have one ring of garlic cloves, you have an inner ring of garlic cloves, and there's no hard neck protruding. Hey, there you go. So there's your lesson in garlic. This is going to take a while, so what I'm going to do is I'll only just strip this one off on camera, and then I'll strip the rest off camera, and then I'll show you what we've got. Okay, otherwise you're going to be bored witless just watching me strip these garlics, aren't you? Yes you are. Right, so there's that pedestal. That's what they were all sitting on. And if it was soft neck garlic you wouldn't get that, you'd get more garlic cloves and no hard neck. Let me just put these on my hand, see if I can offer them up. And this is what we got from one garlic bulb. That's what we got. Now, as I've said, I'm going to strip the rest. We're going to do the lot now. We're going to select the ones we want to grow on, and the ones we don't want to grow on, they'll be used in the kitchen. Okay, let's do this. That's it then, all done. Lots of mess here, as you can see. I'll need to tidy this up before we do much more. But we are going out shortly, and we are going to plant some of this garlic. I've saved the last one to do on camera, and I've actually got a garlic hiding behind this cup of tea. It's a bit special. Well, I think it's special. You might have seen it before. I've never seen this before, but I'll show you. Right, so most of these garlics, these garlic bulbs, would produce at least half a dozen cloves. half a dozen garlic cloves. So let's count this one just as an example. Well, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 garlic cloves from that one garlic bulb. You'd have to say, I mean, growing these in buckets and bags, it's so easy. You should give it a go. Give it a go. You don't need a lot of room. You don't need a big backyard. You don't need to have an allotment. You don't need raised beds. You just need somewhere to stand buckets and bags. Anywhere in your garden. And they take no looking after, really. They look after themselves. I just use a soil-based compost that I probably add some blood, fish and bone to, or maybe some onion fertiliser. Anything. Any basic fertiliser. Then just plant them. Let them get established. There's usually enough rain through autumn and winter. You hardly need to water them. And yeah, you'll be harvesting these in the summer of next year, early summer. But hey, let me show you this behind the cup. Hey, how about that doozy? Let me give you a couple of garlics, a couple of typical garlics. This is what we normally expect. Put a few on there. This is what we normally expect, don't we? We normally expect that. What did I get off that last one? Was it 8? We normally expect that. Off one of these garlics, that's what I got. Just the one. And it actually looks as though it's wanting to grow. I think I can see a little green shoot there. I think we should grow this one, shouldn't we? Just out of curiosity, I've never seen that before. I've never seen a garlic bulb just produce one garlic clove. Have you? If you have, let us know. I mean, it might be common. Oh, all I'm saying is I've never seen it before. So we're definitely going to plant this one. And we're going to plant some of these. And the ones we don't plant, well, they'll be used in the kitchen. Okay. So finish this tea. I'll get set up outside. Then we'll plant some garlic. Just before we plant this garlic, I'm going to have a digress. It's ages since I've had a digress. I feel like I need one. I don't know if you can see, I'm going to come round your side and pan this camera. I'll move this bucket out the way. But on this side of the greenhouse I've now got a courgette growing that I never had growing in the greenhouse before. And on this side I've got a courgette growing that I've never had growing in the greenhouse before. Directly behind me are the 2 cucumbers that I've been growing. Just let me come round your side and then we'll do this. This is the courgette growing in a bucket. And this is the courgette growing in a bag. Okay, so that was courgette in a bucket, and that threw me 8 courgettes. And a courgette in a bag, and that threw me 10 courgettes. And that was part of my Which is Best Grow Courgettes in Buckets or Bags trial that I ran. There's a video up on the channel, and I terminated it because the weather was getting colder. It was seeing more rain and more wind, and to be honest the plants looked moth-eaten. Now, not so long ago I moved all the tomatoes out of this 8x6 greenhouse, so I had an empty greenhouse, and I thought, hey, why not bring those 2 courgettes into the greenhouse, see if we can get a few more courgettes out of them. And this guy in the bag, it's looking a lot healthier. It's got a couple of huge yellow flowers on it and a couple of courgettes, and the one in the bucket, it's got 2 or 3 huge yellow flowers on it and a couple of courgettes on it. So I think we might get even more than we anticipated. And the other thing I've done is I've actually tied them up where the tomatoes used to be, so they're up off the ground. So if there's any slugs or snails coming here, they're not going to reach those courgettes. Anyway, that was our digress. Right, garlic. Hey, if this works, you might never need to buy garlic again. Ever. Well, why would you? If you grow your own, then 12 months later plant it again. Grow your own, then 12 months later plant it again. You might never need to buy garlic again. Okay, so this is recycled soil. You'll see some very fine roots left in it. This may have grown onions earlier this year, may have grown leeks, judging by those fine roots. But what I've done is I've emptied the bucket out and reinvigorated it with some leek and onion fertiliser, a granular fertiliser, and I'm sure that'll be good for garlic just as it would be good for leeks and onions. So we're only going to go with 4 because we know 4 works because we've done it before, and it's as simple as this. Pointy end up, blunt end down, shove them in. Shove them in. How deep? Please yourself. I think mine were 4 inches last year. That looks to be about 2 inches. Yeah, let's give them a go. 2 inches this year. I'm going to do some more of these, by the way, but not on camera. This is possibly a fairly lengthy video by now. I don't want to bore the socks off you. So we'll call it a day when I've pushed this last one in. Okay, now I have no intention of watering these. This soil is quite moist, and what would be the point of watering something that doesn't have roots? These garlic cloves don't have roots. They can't take water up, can they? Want to throw some roots down. So we'll give them a week or 2 in this bucket, and then we'll give them a light drink on the assumption that they've put out a few roots, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, so I hope you've enjoyed this video. This is Homegrown Veg, signing out.